Okay, go ahead and install the pilot light and put in a 250 milliamp fuse. No tubes are to be installed. And now we're going to go ahead and install your pilot light. And I've actually got an ohm meter going here with it's actually a voltmeter that I've got on the ohm meter setting. And we're just going to do a small test here just to make sure. You shouldn't have any reading there. You shouldn't measure any resistance between those two initially. If you do, there's possibly something wrong there with the wiring in the circuit board. You also just want to do some basic tests here on the speaker jacks and the output jacks. Make sure there's nothing crossed there. Once you've done this, then we can go ahead and connect those low voltage green wires going to the pilot lamp and the wires from the output transformer. Now we're going to have the standby on, and we're going to get our cable to plug this in. Be very careful at this point. And this first test, standby is on, the normal main power is off. You just want to flip on the main power for just a second and see if your pilot light comes on. It does, turn it off. That's test number one. Okay, this is just to make sure that your power supply coming in, that something wasn't cross-wired there. Now in our second procedure, we're going to do this and we're going to record the voltage. But first, in making this amplifier, you're going to be dealing with very high voltages, upwards of 700 volts, possibly more. Because of that, you need to take some precautions to protect yourself from being shocked and receiving that kind of voltage into your system. Normally this happens when you're using a voltmeter with test leads like this. As you're working and you're testing different things, your hand may come in contact with points on the amplifier, and this other hand may come into points in contact on this side. When that happens, an electrical charge will come up your arm, across your heart, and out this arm to the ground. That's very bad. If you get 700 volts across your heart, it can be fatal. And yes, I do mean it can be fatal. You can die. So you need to take the best precaution I can think of, which is to be a one-armed electrician. By this I mean that you use an alligator clip, something like this. It's an alligator clip that fits on a sleeve like this, and then you can connect your pointer to this, your test lead. Okay? Once you've done that, you can grab onto stuff like this. Okay? That can be left alone. So once you have this attached, this arm can go behind your back and you can be a one-armed electrician. So as you're testing, you only have one point of contact. That's one point of contact with the actual voltage. Now you can receive a shock across your hand. If this finger is touching a hot lead and this finger happens to touch a ground, you may get a current that passes over your hand. It's going to hurt, but it won't kill you in most cases. Okay? So the test lead, one arm only. This arm has to go behind your back and you only use one arm. That's a technique called being a one-armed electrician. You will see this symbol when you are in an area of the testing procedures where you need to pay a special attention to being a one-armed electrician. Remember, standby is on, power's off, we're plugged in. And we're going to take a reading from the rectifier socket. Your plans will show you the pin that you need to be on. And we're going to touch that to the grounding post. Okay, so we're going to flip the amp on. Our pilot light's on. We'll have our voltmeter ready. And we're going to get a voltage reading at this point. You can see I'm at about 350 volts, which should be pretty normal for this style amp. Go ahead and turn everything off and power down. Okay, and I also want to show you when you do a test like this and any other tests we do, we do have to power down and let everything discharge. And make a note of the voltage you just took. Now this particular amp has a discharging capacitor in it. You can see it right there. And I'm going to take a reading there, and you can see it's got almost 1,000 volts going to it. Now I'm going to turn off the power, and I've actually disconnected the power from the wall. You can see we still have voltage, 700 volts, and you can see it's discharging and going down, but it takes a little while to do that. You need to be very aware of this. Anytime we do a test and we turn the amp off, you have got to wait until this drains down to no voltage before you do anything else. You start working on it, even if the power plug is not on or connected, you can still get a very bad shock.